Perfect. There we go. Awesome. All right. So I appreciate everybody taking time. I don't know if Sunday night is the best night or the worst night. I think traditionally for us, it's been pretty good. Um, weeknights are tough with just a million things going on, and Saturdays obviously kind of out because one should have a weekend and have a life. But we're as we turn into June, the start of the season is much closer than we maybe realize. So I think it's important just for me to touch base with everybody and just kind of go over some things, just kind of get some updates on where we are with a few things, and then open the floor to any questions in case there's anything that I miss. Players or families that have been with us before. Hi, Glenn. Feel free to jump in if I forget something, or if there's something that you guys know I need to add, because there's always something I forget. It's usually about like dress code or things like that. So I have been tasked with working on the East schedule. So that is much closer to done than not done. Uh, my power positive thinking has me believing that it will be done this week. Um, and that once it's done, I'll be able to share with all of you, if not the entire schedule, because the league asks us to hold the entire schedule until they release it. I will certainly be able to share the critical dates. And really for us, I can share a lot of those even now, and I'll send a document kind of summarizing some of this stuff in the next day or two as well. But once that's done, that will, click everything into place in terms of our schedule. So you'll get a schedule once our game schedule is complete. You'll get a schedule that has, literally every one of our ice slots on it for the entire year. So you'll know exactly when breaks begin and end. It's not very different from last year with the one caveat that because of Christmas and New Year's falling in the middle of the week, and Thanksgiving being really late, as late as it can be, I think. The showcase is a little on the early side. So, but I'll get you guys dates, and we'll talk about those dates shortly here. But like I said, once the schedule's done, you'll get all of that in one fell swoop. And I'll have our first day of practice, which is going to be September 2nd. That's Labor Day. So, arrival weekend will be that weekend. So, plan on basically September 1st-ish, if you're coming in from out of town, being here and getting settled. If you're a day or two earlier than that, I don't anticipate that being an issue unless you're with a billet that's away that weekend. But last year we did not have that problem. And then first weekend of games is probably gonna be September 21st, 22nd, 20, 21, 22 weekend. That doesn't mean we're gonna play all 3 days, just open that weekend. We'll have a parents' weekend. That's gonna be our first family weekend's gonna be a little bit later this year. Because I felt like the turnaround for drop off to our first parents' weekend last year was maybe a little tight. And there's, it was pretty quick. So I'm gonna build in a little more time, number one, and number two, it'll be the first weekend that we play 2 home games. So it's likely gonna be in mid to late October. So everybody will be here and be a little more settled before that happens. So we're working on trying to put a golf tournament together around that weekend, parents' weekend. So I'll keep you guys apprised of that as we go. Then we'll power through to Thanksgiving. As it stands right now, we're gonna play a showcase. And we're gonna do the East Division showcase again. And it looks like this isn't official, so don't put this on your social media or your blog yet. It looks like that's gonna be at St. Anselm College in Merrimack, Manchester, New Hampshire, November 24th and 25th, which is the Monday. We're slated to play on that Monday afternoon, and then we would go on Thanksgiving break. So it's a day earlier than we did last year, which was Tuesday. But we're on the road that Monday up in Manchester. So by the time we get back, that some people may be able to get out if they're so motivated on Monday night. But in all likelihood, people will probably be departing Tuesday morning. We'll probably have ice on Tuesday for if anybody's staying around in town and wants to jump on that Tuesday, but it will be optional, which we do very rarely. So don't expect to hear that word very often. Then we'll be back to work on that Monday after Thanksgiving, which is December the 2nd. And then, like I said, there's a really quick turnaround before we go to the showcase in Blaine, which is going to be December 15, 16, and 17 this year. So it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like it's been the last, I think, couple of years. We'll travel on Saturday. And then after the game on Tuesday morning, which will be at 9 or 9:15 a.m., guys can go directly home from there at that time. So typically a flight that's after, let's say, call it 2 o'clock or later is safe. But that should give you a lot of options to get out of Minneapolis and get home during that period. And then we're going to be back in Norwich on I think we're going to do the 30th, 31st, and then we're going to be on the ice January 1st. We are going to play that weekend of the 3rd and 4th. We're likely going to be playing New Hampshire, who I trust to not come back the day after Christmas and have a full extra week of practice for us. So, and then the last weekend of the regular season is going to be March 7, 8, 9. And then the playoffs would run the next 3 weeks. So 14 through 16, 21 through 23. And then the Fraser Cup is going to be that last full weekend. Oh yeah, the last weekend in March. And so that kind of, and then we'll have ice here in Norwich through March, no matter what, like no matter how far we go in the playoffs. So we'll keep ice here, so that if people want to stay around and work on their game a little bit at the end, hopefully we're playing right through to the Fraser Cup and it's a moot point. But if we're not for some reason, that will be available to everybody. So that's kind of the overview of the schedule. Did I miss anything? Are there any questions on that part? Kind of the big picture schedule. There'll be 7 teams in the division. So that's part of the reason the schedule is a bit of a challenge. There's no Danbury. Well, I'll go through the whole division because not everybody knows everything. So the New Jersey Titans, the Long Beach Sharks, the Binghamton Buzz, the Norwich Sea Captains, the Northeast Generals, New Hampshire Mountain Kings, and then the Maine Nordiques are back in at NA3. So we'll play everybody 8 times except for Maine, who we play 6 times, and who the heck is the other one? Long Beach, we only play 6 times. So everybody else will play 8 total times. So 8 times 3 is 24, and 6 times 2 is 12, and 20. Or I'm sorry, yeah, and 20. Nope, 8 times 4. Sorry, 8 times 4 is 32, and then the 12 games. So we get the 44 in division games, and then the three games that we'll play at the showcase gets to our 47 regular season games. So, I miss anything on that piece of it? Big picture schedule. No, good. And then for those of you who don't know, because not everybody does, and I don't expect everybody to or assume, our everyday schedule is our ice is 10 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. So it's like a between 9 and 9:15 a.m. arrival at the rink, warm up off ice, and then on the ice for 10 o'clock start to practice. Most days, the only day that we consistently cannot get on early is Wednesday, but most days guys can start to trickle on the ice as early as 9:30, if they're really motivated and get dressed quickly and jump out there. We do go the full 2 hours quite a bit, especially in the early part of the year. But oftentimes there's some time at the end of practice for one mores, things like that. So, and then Mondays and Wednesdays, we don't have a ton of midweek games right now. Trying to keep those minimized as best we can, but we will have a handful. But typically in a week where we're not playing midweek, and we have to do some because of the odd number of teams this year, just so we avoid like full weekends off or full 2-week segments off. So we have a couple that are strategically placed, but typically when we're not playing during the week, we're going to lift Monday and Wednesday. And I think I talked to JT earlier today about her plan. I think she's still going to do Mondays and Thursdays, which means Thursday will be our yoga day. So we'll get everybody strengthened and loosened up and ready for the weekend on Thursdays. I can't speak to court. I'm not sure when court will be held. That will be up to you guys. But that's kind of your weekly schedule. And then, parents, I guess, are interested in this too. Like, we'll typically do video. I'm gonna scooch it up a day this year, guys. Like, we're gonna do video on Sundays and Tuesdays a lot this year. We did a lot of Mondays and Wednesdays last year. We're gonna scooch it up because I want to do a little bit more with our video, and I want to unpack some things a little bit more detailed. And so typically Sunday evenings, we'll go over some video stuff that will help us go into the week really prepared. So, as most of you guys know, like I had a tough year with some things that went on with my family and my personal life. But I assessed everybody in our program, and that includes me. And if I'm totally honest, it's not my best coaching job. Like I can give you every reason in the world why. That doesn't matter. But I'm going to do a better job going forward. And part of the thing I want to do, one of the things I want to do is start our week a smidge earlier. So our weeks are going to start Sunday night instead of Monday morning. So we'll have the full day Sunday off as much as possible, but we'll have a little preview of what the week's going to look like on Sunday nights. So I'm really excited about it because I think it's going to help us really hit the ground running and do some things even better. Because as you guys are seeing with our college commitments, like we're losing some pretty important pieces, but I'm really excited about the growth of the players that we have returning, and I'm really excited about the new pieces we're adding. And I'm not looking to miss a beat here. Like my intention is for us to be, I think we were among the league's elite last year. I think we were among the top third, maybe quarter of the league. And it's 100% my intention to stay there. So maybe even climb. So that's, I've kind of unpacked a little bit more that I want to bring to this. But I think it's important just to lay that out there right from the get-go. So from a scheduling standpoint, whether it's big picture over the season or a day in, day out schedule, any questions about any of that from anyone? Returners, did I miss anything on that?
No, you're good.
Awesome. Thank you, Q. I appreciate you. All
Yeah,
right.
you did great. Amazing job, Tony.
What's up?
I said you did great.
Thanks, bud. All right. I think for most of you, like I've done an okay job so far from a paperwork perspective. So just be on the lookout for the next couple of days of just getting everybody to the same place from a paperwork perspective. So some guys still have to get me info forms, which is fine, get those to me. The reason I need those info forms is that gets me all the stuff I need to generate your contracts. And then, once contracts are out, starting after this meeting, like I'm gonna be a bit of a ball buster on dates. Like for payments and things like that. Like I was lax last year. I just can't afford to be like where we are with the business. Like I think everybody on here knows this. Like I own the team. So, but it's cost me a lot of money over the last 3 years to make that a reality. But that reality is like those many of you know, like that was the last kind of hurdle we had to clear in the springtime. But at our meetings in Columbus in April, it was made official that the Connecticut Hockey Group, officially owns the Norwich Sea Captains. So, but that doesn't mean I have any money. It means I have less money, to be honest with you. So, I'm gonna stay really firm on those, and I'm just gonna ask people to, some of you guys are great about reading contracts and knowing what's in there. Just please try to stick to due dates and things like that, because we do have expenses throughout the year. Like our equipment expenses have already started. We're reordering some jerseys. Returners know this. I don't know if incoming guys know, like we're getting a whole new set of practice jerseys and socks. So and we're doing some things to try to keep our product and what we're able to give you guys really high. And then obviously when we travel, we go by coach bus everywhere. We do meals on the road, hotels when necessary. All that stuff's included, but I wish I could tell you it was cheap, but you guys know because you've been paying it for years, it's not. So I'm gonna be very proactive about staying on top of that, and JT is gonna help me a little bit on that front so that we have an organized approach to that and stay consistent with that. What else was I gonna touch on that front? There was something else. Oh, the paperwork piece. So you can go in and register for USA Hockey now, and I'll send that link out by email in the next call it 24 to 36 hours to everybody. So go on, register for USA Hockey, update your Safe Sport. I would imagine everybody has done Safe Sport already. I don't think that's new to anybody except maybe as I say that as that falls out of my mouth, there might be one or two of you, but I think most of you would have done Safe Sport already, and you're probably just in a refresher course. Um, and then, the NA3 waiver that you have to do every year, and then anybody that's planning to wear a half shield will have to do an NA3 half shield waiver. So I'll get all those links out to everybody in the next little bit here. None of those things, with the exception of Safe Sport, takes any significant amount of time. Like signing up for USA Hockey takes moments, not long at all. All of those waivers take literally seconds, not long at all. So just don't open your email and say, "Oh, I'll do that later. I'll come back to it and do it." Just open your email, knock it out, get it done. A couple of those things ask you to send the receipts to me, which lets me know that it's done. And then when the league gives me a nasty gram that so and so didn't do it, I have the proof that they did. So we'll get all that stuff done and work on that sooner rather than later. So I'll get you guys moving on that front. I'll start doing some number assigning based on people's top choices in the next little bit here. So you can start thinking about, what number you'll be wearing, and if you want to get it tattooed somewhere on your body, what number you're looking at to put on. So our 04s especially, but anybody that wants to go through this process is definitely able to and welcome to. We're going to be really proactive about the college piece this year. So, we're going to end up with, I think, 8 commitments off last year's team, which is awesome. And, I'm really psyched about. And, but a lot of those guys were on the later side of things, which is fine. It wasn't, it ended up working out exactly the way I think it should have. but this year we've got some guys that need to be more proactive. So it's going to force and encourage everybody else to be in that in the front couple trains of the car. So we'll start that process in earnest this off season. Some of you guys have done a great job already of being on top of that. But we'll be really proactive with that piece again as well. And then along the same lines, we're gonna do a lot more. I know we intended to do more than we did last year, and this is one of the areas where I don't think I did a great job, but we're gonna do a lot more with our goal setting and journaling and just kind of keeping track of our daily habits throughout the year as well. So I've reordered our planners from last year. We'll have those right at the beginning of the year. And we'll dive into some things that will hopefully help us have an edge and be out in front of our competition on a consistent basis. So no questions. Shouldn't be. I was pretty straightforward. Nothing on that, right? Okay. Next we'll go to living arrangements. So we're still working out a little bit with one or two potential returning guys in terms of where they want to live, which will probably dictate the availability of non-billet housing. So, guys renting a house. Obviously, that's something that we've done each of the last 2 years with older guys on the team, guys that had been away from home before, guys that had been in Norwich before. You'll all get a questionnaire, a billet questionnaire in the next little bit here as well. If you are a returning player that wants to go back to the same billet that you were in, that's pretty easy. We don't have to do too much there. But if you are a new player or a returning player that wants to change his living arrangements, we'll need to work together on that to make sure that I don't put you someplace that has cats. If you've got a cat allergy, if anybody, last year we didn't have many car issues, but the year before we had a couple that we had to work through. So we'll work on trying to get those things matched up sooner rather than later. And frankly, a lot of that will happen. A lot of that heavy lifting will happen at both ID camps, but even more so at this first one coming up in about 10 days. I'll spend some time with guys and maybe even have some billets come, spend some time, and some guys will be staying with billets for that camp as well. So you'll get a chance to kind of try some people on for size a little bit as well. We're extremely fortunate, I think, with our billet families. Like they do a great job of the stuff that they're supposed to do, but like they're supportive well above and beyond what they're quote supposed to do. So we're extremely fortunate to have billets that are really dialed in and really care about our program as a whole, the players that live for them, but with them, but all the guys as well. So if you have specific questions or requests about billeting, feel free to reach out to me, and then I'll get Julie out in front of everybody as well, because she's our billet coordinator, and then she can help. So if there's something that you're uncomfortable coming to me with, which I would encourage you to get over it and come to me anyway. But if there's something that you are uncomfortable coming to me with, you can go to Julie. But there aren't a whole lot of secrets in this program, as guys that have been around here know. It's a small group, and we try to communicate with your best interest. I mean, obviously, if there's something I don't need to know that's private, I'm not going to delve into that. But we're pretty transparent about communication here and what goes on. And so if you're a great kid who's doing a fantastic job at your billet, I'm only going to hear wonderful things. But if you're a pain in the ass, I'm definitely going to hear about that. So, which again, knock on wood, we haven't really dealt with that, but we have to anticipate everything. So, what else? The only other thing that we'll have going on, we've got the 2 ID camps, and then we will do a team for the Chowder Cup this summer, which I know some guys are interested in doing. It's certainly not required, but anybody that's gone to the Chowder Cup before knows it's a massive event that's got the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it is a great chance to get your feet wet with some competition. You know, you don't need to do a lot in terms of skating this summer. You know, once or twice a week is plenty. I think by the time you're this age, most of you guys have a pretty good idea of what you need to do to be ready for the season in terms of ice time and things like that. So make good decisions there. If you need to start to ramp up as you get into late July and August, by all means do that. I know at least one guy is planning on probably trying to move in here pretty early in July and staying for the rest of the summer. So if there's interest in guys looking at that kind of stuff, like let me know and we can work on some opportunities for that as well to get more touches on the ice, and you can work our youth camp, make a couple of bucks and do some things like that as well. So what am I missing on that? I think that's kind of the big stuff for the summer. And I'll put this in writing for everybody as well. But those are the big pieces. And then I always forget this one, dress code. So when we travel in game attire all the time, unless expressly stated otherwise. Game attire is shirt and tie. I think we're going to eliminate turtlenecks this year. Shirt and tie. Did that just
Cunny,
scare?
that's a good call. Good call,
Thanks,
Cunny.
bud. Thank you.
Get those turtlenecks out of here.
That's
No,
a
that's
really good
absolutely
call.
brutal.
Yo,
That's
get
brutal.
those turtlenecks
Brutal.
out of here.
Yeah,
That's
Get
so
them
brutal.
out of here.
I think we're going shirt
Protest.
shirt and tie. And then jacket and pants. It does not need to be a suit. But jacket and pants, dress shoes. And I'm gonna put a new one in. I've been thinking about this for a little bit and I'm gonna go with it. Well, two things. One, if your pants have loops, you wear a belt. Okay. And then the other one is we are not gonna wear sport socks with our dress clothes. Okay, we're gonna wear big boy adult socks. So no Nike swooshes on our socks. No show socks above your loafers, like real socks, okay? And maybe we'll even do a socks of the game award so that we encourage some creativity with our socks. But
What about no socks with loafers?
what's up?
What about no socks with loafers?
I'll think on that one. I'll think on that one.
Am I
Okay.
back in high school?
Yes, Q. Except you don't have to say Hail Marys and Our Fathers.
Jeez.
So, but yeah, we're gonna kick it up a notch with our attire, just a tick. What else? Gym. Oh, the gym. A couple people asked me about that. Our gym is located, I'm not exactly sure of the mileage, but I think it's under a mile from the rink. And where your membership is covered as part of your tuition, so you don't have to worry about that. And I think I'm gonna get them to, like, they've kicked in a couple other things for us, so, like, I know, Janny, I think I can get them to cover you for the time that you're here in the summer as well, without you having to reach in the pocket for that, so, or at the very least, they'll give you our pricing, which is pretty good. And then, I think that's it. What did I miss overall?
I don't think you missed anything. I think it's good.
Yeah, you did good. It was a great job, Cunny.
Yeah, you
Thank
touched
you.
all bases.
Thank you.
Oh, the equipment.
Helmets, gloves,
Shells.
pants, and I ordered some shells.
Shells.
I did order some
Yes.
shells. I did order some shells. So actually, that's something that if you can let me know, like I know on that form, I only ask about pant size. If you can just text me separately and let me know if you need a shell, if you want a shell instead of pants, just so I can make sure. I should be fine with the ones I ordered, but just if there are more of those than I anticipate and I need to order a couple more shells, I still have time to do that, but I needed to get the pants order in order to get those in time. So if there are a couple other people that need shells instead of pants, just let me know that. Like I know Glenn and Connor for sure. I think they might be the only two left. If there's somebody else, just shoot me a text at any time in the next like couple of days and just say, Connie, I'd prefer shell to pants, and then I'll make sure you get set for that. I do shells for the goalies because obviously you guys wear the craziest pants in the world, and I just can't even try to keep up with what you guys are doing. I was at a showcase this weekend looking at the one goalie's pants and all the flaps and all the crap that's got, I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't know how you guys wear all that stuff. It's nuts. So, anything else that I missed? Does Edmonton have a chance? I don't think
Yes,
so. I
yes, they
really
do.
don't.
Yes, they do.
I don't think so. I don't, by the way, anybody's watching both of those goals and they gotta be, anybody that's been with us before, especially, has gotta be thinking like, man, we're gonna see those goals in video, right? Like that Barkov net drive, like, holy smoke, like way to go through and clean up that area. Man, it just opens up all that space behind him. That's a big body going to the net too. And then boy, Darnell Nurse is gonna get just brutalized in video, huh? Facing the corner, staring down at the puck, toes down, puck flows through him like crap through a goose right to the front, bang, 2-0. So, and Bob's ridiculous right now. The guy's on fire. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll be down in Florida in a couple of weeks. I'll miss the games, but maybe I'll be there for the parade at the beach. It'll be awesome. So
Quick
anything else?
question.
Yes.
What are the dates for the ID camp?
So June 18th and 19th is the
I know
first
that.
one. That's a Tuesday and Wednesday. And then July 12th and 13th is the second one.
July.
It's a Friday and Saturday. It's our first foray into a weekend date for a camp.
Yeah, Glenn will
Uh,
be at that one.
Perfect. And then Chowder Cup, for anybody that's interested, is July 18 to 21, I think. Hold on, let me just pull up July in front of me. Yeah,
Okay.
18 to 21. So I know, like, I'll put Janny on the spot. Like, we talked about him coming up, and like, so we have that camp, and then I'll make sure that you guys can get some ice touches in between if somebody is interested in staying around for that period of time. Don't worry about that. We'll be able to squeeze some ice out of the rink for some of those things. And then after that, everybody that's going home, you're looking at about, 5 weeks before we're back here for real. And we're digging our heels in and getting ready to go. Bow ties. Mitch is going bow tie this year. All right. All right. There you go. Stylish. Anybody else? Going once. Going twice. Last call. Awesome. Oh, I did have one more thing. The team app. So, we know the functionality that we've had with SportsU in the past. I think it's been really good. I think it's been delivered everything that I've needed from them. But I don't, most of you probably, well, no, the players are, but parents may not be aware. Like, we use a software called RinkNet, which is like the largest scouting software in the world. It's used by every NHL team and, a lot of Division I schools and pros overseas and things like that. Our guys last year all filled out a form to be able to be in RinkNet and be accessible to coaches all over the world. So we're going to continue to use RinkNet for our recruiting and our future planning, but they have a similar app now, and they've asked me to look at it. So I'm going to play with that, but look for, in the next day or two, everybody getting an invitation to our app. We do a parents chat, a parent/billet chat, and then a player chat. I share, what I think is a ton of information in that chat, especially compared to other junior teams. more so probably from a parent perspective than a player perspective. I mean, I share a ton with the players, but like with the parents, I share, our itineraries, our lineups, our game plans. So there's a lot of inside information in there. Um, uh, and, uh, once we get that set up, I'll make sure that you guys know how to do that properly and how to get in there. If we stay with Sports U, it's pretty simple. If we go to one rink, I'm assuming it's going to be similarly easy. I just have to get my T's crossed and I's dotted with that. Just got a question about NATV. NATV's here to stay, at least for the foreseeable future. I know it had some first year issues. I know we had a couple issues with it early that we were able to sort out, and we were kind of humming by the end of the year. We are going to have a new announcer. That's a change that I thought was the right thing to do. And we kind of had to do with Mike's future plans. But yeah, my expectation is that will continue to get better in our broadcast. We're trying to add some wrinkles to that and make that an even better experience. And then that got me thinking about something else. Oh, assistant coaching. Obviously, I think most of you guys know Jordan's, starts flight school in almost a month to the day. So he's going to be hopefully a commercial pilot within a pretty short period of time. So maybe he'll fly us to Blaine one day, which would be awesome. But I'm looking to find a suitable replacement for him, which is going to be a challenge. And then from a goalie perspective, we're looking for a goalie coach because Mac took a job at Minnesota State Mankato as a full-time assistant. So yeah, we're doing it all. But I'm confident that we'll have some those bases covered by the time we get rolling. And this is going to cut out soon. I can reopen if I need to. And I will, but once this cuts out, if you don't need to jump back on, don't. I'm not going to cover anything massive. Probably just take any questions that come up. Anybody have them quick now?